...2007, a year many of you might not see as an important year for anime, but this year holds so many of your favorite animes such as Naruto Shippuden,
Naruto Uzumaki has returned to the Hidden Leaf Village!
Gurren Lagann,
穴を掘るなら天をつく墓穴掘っても掘り抜けて
and Afro Samurai. Now, within the amazing anime that dropped the year of 2007, a diamond in a rough was discovered, and that anime being Claymore. Now, when I had first watched Claymore, it was a few years back, and ever since then, it's always been this faint memory, but one thing I remember is its uniqueness. On a side note though, younger me should not have been watching something this gory in one go, but I guess this is where my addiction for dark manga and anime came from. Now, back in 2007, with the influx of anime, what made Claymore stand out was by having a woman main character not be pushed by fan service, but instead of how badass she was. Seeing her cut the arms off her enemies without a second thought, or seeing her get a hole punch through her stomach and barely even flinching and still having enough strength to kill the enemy, it made you realize not only was this not going to be your average series, but she also wasn't going to be your average main character. But it doesn't just stop at Claire. Most of the important women in this anime are used in ways that around this time were outside of the norm. No panty shots, no ripping of the clothes, just straight slicing and dicing and being the fighters and the protectors of the people in danger without there being some sort of catch to grab your attention. Fire Force. Now, if you don't remember the story of Claymore, let me just jog your memory a little bit. The human world has been infested with man-eating monsters called Yoma. These monsters have the ability to shapeshift into anyone they've killed, but it doesn't just stop there. They also have the ability to hide inside mummified bodies. With mankind being pushed back into extinction, an organization was created to turn humans into half Yoma, but there is one catch: it can only be women. During the series, we follow around our two main characters, Rocky, a full human, and Claire, half human, half Yoma, as they try to put an end to the monsters running around and endlessly killing. During the first episode, we can see that a village is backed into a corner because they believe a Yoma is hiding in their village and is killing off their people. With them having no other option, they decide to hire a Claymore to come exterminate the Yoma, but they have no idea where it's at. The problem is, once a Yoma disguises itself as a human, there's no way to tell it apart from everyone else, and that's why hiring a Claymore was the best option. Not only do the Claymores have superhuman strength similar to Yomas, but their eyes can also be used as radars to sniff out any Yoma disguising themselves as human. The town gets word that a Claymore is coming to save them, and they all go to greet her, but greet might be the wrong word. Let's say more like stare and whisper about her. Due to the Claymores being part Yoma, they aren't very friendly with other humans, and the humans don't want to get close with them because, well, they're part Yoma. Immediately after coming in town, Rocky takes interest into this Claymore he's never seen before, which almost ends up costing him his life. But this would also be the start of the bond between Rocky and Claire. Now, it's very clear from the get-go, Rocky doesn't hold the same opinions as everybody else in this town when it comes to Claymores. He views them as normal people, no different than anybody else. You could blame this on him being naive or just being misinformed, but I'd like to think it's just because Rocky is pure of heart. A little side intermission, but I didn't know the voice actor for Rocky also voiced Alan Walker from D. Gray Man, Death the Kid from Soul Eater, and Natsu Dragoneel from Fairy Tail. I knew his voice sounded familiar, I just couldn't put a name to it, but now that I know, it's actually a cool fact. During a conversation between Claire and Rocky, we're informed by Rocky that his parents were the first ones killed by the Yoma in this town. Him and his brother witnessing this firsthand, and due to so much stress about this situation, he ends up passing out, and when he comes to, it's only him and his brother alive. Rocky ends up heading off as he forgot to get dinner ready at his uncle's house, but when he returns to his uncle's house, he sees that the Yoma have struck again. All all jokes aside, this man Rocky cannot catch a break at all, losing his parents and then losing his uncle, and then the person who did it is a Yoma disguised as your brother. Rocky trying to fight back, but obviously he's overpowered by a Yoma until Claire comes and saves him by cutting both of its arms off and then slicing it in half. With the job being done now, Claire leaves the town and Rocky decides to follow her, but he kind of has no choice because his town decided to get rid of him after losing his whole entire family, which in retrospect and watching this again, it's kind of crazy. Not only does this boy lose his entire family due to Yoma, then his town kicks him out because they think he also could be a Yoma, and they just leave him in the desert. Now, off the first episode alone, I'd say you get the feel of everything this anime is gonna be about. The eerie feeling, the creepy music, and the dark themes and gore. The anime expands on all of these different parts of it the longer you watch, adding more depth, getting darker and creepier the deeper you dive into the Claymore series. And it actually makes sense because when the author Norihiro Yagi was creating this series, he intended to pour all of his darker ideas he had while making another series of his, Angel Densetsu, a quote-unquote gag manga, the complete opposite of what Claymore is. This series gives off major Berserk vibes, and if I had to give a comparison between Claire and another character, I'd say Guts, minus the depression, minus the being branded by your worst enemy and seeing all of your friends die. On second thought, they might not be so similar, but they both do go around swinging swords, killing monsters. Rewatching Claymore was a blessing in disguise, not only because of the fact that I didn't remember how good it was since I had watched it so long ago, it also inspired me to make this video for those who may have forgotten about Claymore or haven't watched it in a while just like me. For it to be released in 2007 and still hold up this well 18 years later, the author was truly thinking outside of the box when he created this series, with the anime having 24 episodes and the manga having 155 chapters, running way longer than the author intended. Originally, Norihiro Yagi intended for the manga to run for 5 or 6 volumes, but after seeing the love he received, he decided to keep it going, adding new and refreshing ideas. When asked about the long serialization of Claymore and how he felt about the ending, Norihiro Yagi states, "I felt relieved. During the serialization, I always had it in my mind I have to end the story well. The fact that I was able to do this the way I had imagined puts me at ease." With the Claymore manga selling over 8 million copies and the anime garnering over millions of views, I think it's safe to say that the Claymore series has earned its rightful place in the manga and anime standings. With it being one of my favorite dark fantasy animes that I've seen, I highly recommend that if you haven't seen Claymore, you watch it. I tried to keep this video spoiler free for those who haven't seen it, with only talking about the anime in a general aspect while still trying to discuss the series with those who have seen it. But that's the end of the video. If you've enjoyed, make sure to leave a thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe. I'll catch you on the next video. Peace.